Hey friends, and welcome back. So guys, it is time to start working on November's budget for the entire month. So I have my bill log already ready to go, and I'm just gonna write November 2018. And for anyone that may be new here, hi and welcome. And yes, I do write like a kindergartner. No shame, no judgment here. No judgment on myself, rather. Okay, so I punch my bill log because it sits inside of my bill binder. And again, if you have been hanging out with me for a while, then you know I'm totally obsessed with all things binders. Yada, yada, yada. So, first things first, what I do every single month is I go ahead and write in the bills for what we expect the bills to be. I pull these numbers based on what last month's bills were actually for those totals, and that's how I get the totals for the new month. So I'm going to go ahead and fill all of this in, and then I will jump back in and share yada yada yada. So let's get started. Alright, now I need to fill in the sync funds that we are funding for this month. And I have that already pretty much pre-filled. What I have done at the top of the year actually is I took like one of these little calendar pages that I found probably on Pinterest. Anyways, I just took this and I write in for each month what sync funds we should be funding and then how much needs to go into that particular fund for the month. So I'm working on November. I know for a fact that I need to fund auto insurance, Lola's insurance, and then our HOA. Vacation and Christmas, I'm not too concerned with because I did put money in to those funds at the top of the year. Like I pre-funded, well, not pre-funded them, I fully funded them at the top of the year when I had got my last big check from the work I was doing with FEMA. So anyways, this month we have auto insurance, Lola's insurance that still needs to be funded. So for auto insurance for the month it's 110. For Lola for the month it's going to be 75. And then our HOA for the month is 40. So I'm just going to write all that in. And then I like to break it down whether or not we put it in monthly, bi-weekly, or if I put it in weekly, because we do have other sources of income outside of the husband's W-2 income. So if that, you know, with the daycare being a side hustle now, be that now that I'm dabbling in reselling, and then also with the hubby sports stuff, where that income comes in, if it's not already accounted for, which typically it is, but sometimes, you know, I'm able just to take that and I'll go ahead and, you know, do the sync funds for the entire month, if so be it, and the income is there to do so. Pretty much is what we do. All right, so bi-weekly for the auto insurance. Let's see how many weeks. Bi-weekly is divided by 2, Michelle. So bi-weekly for the insurance is 55, 27, 50 if we did it weekly, and then Lola at 75 is 37, 50. I always put the exact amount, even though I know I'm going to put $38. I just do that. It's the same thing here. If I end up doing it on a weekly basis, I'm going to put in 20 versus putting in $18.75. But whatever. So $20 bi-weekly there. And then how many weeks do we have in the month of November? Let me make sure I'm calculating that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So it actually might be different. 22. And then 75 divided by 5 weeks, that's actually 15. Look at that. I was going to cheat myself there. 15. And then the HOA divided by 5, that's $8 a week. Look at that. Huh. So what I done, okay, so monthly, if we go ahead and fund these sync funds all at once, this is the amount that we need. If we did it every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, which is how my husband gets paid, it would be these amounts here. If we did it weekly, based on each, week in the month, then it would be these amounts. So 22 weekly for the auto insurance, Lola's insurance, 15 a week, and then $8 a week for the HOA. What I find too is that when you break things down like this in smaller increments, it doesn't seem so hard. You know what I mean? Like it's not a big bill to swallow, if that makes sense. So anyways, if we ended up doing it this way weekly, then this is the amounts that we'll put in. And let's be honest, I can spend $15 in a week right at McDonald's. It's a situation, I know, but we're gonna move on from there. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in down here and write in totals for everything and then add all that up. So here is the November's pre-planned budget. Very easy and simple to do. Again, everything is already kind of set up for me with using this bill log. Our expenses for the month pretty much stays the same. Outside of those things that maybe do every few months or something like that, or even once a year. For instance, in the month of November, we do have flood insurance that is going to renew. Last year, I purchased flood insurance for the first time after Hurricane Harvey, so it's actually going to be due for renewal at the top of November. The money for that has already been set aside, so it's not going to come out of our November income. I will just transfer it over from the savings account to go ahead and pay that expense, but I'll share all that with you guys in our cash flow budget video, so that'll be in a later video. But nonetheless, our bills pretty much stay the same. Our mortgage is the same. The house alarm is the same. Now the house alarm is actually $44.36 a month, but I always just round up on all the bills. And of course, with our utility bills, I base my pre-planned numbers based on what the actual number was for last month's bill. So for our water bill last month, it was $85, so I'm just going to round it up to $90. We are with Metro PCS, so our cell phone pretty much stays the same. We have an unlimited plan, so $56 for mine, $100 for the hubby and the kids combined. The internet bill pretty much stays the same. Every so often it's a few dollars off just because of, I guess, taxes or something. I don't know, but a few dollars off here and there. So it was actually $69, which is 70 bucks. So I just round that up as well. Now, oddly enough, the only bill that I actually put the exact amount that's drafted is the life insurance. I don't know why my mind works like that, but for everything else, I round off. Life insurance, I would just put $115.38, which is the actual amount that it is, versus rounding up to maybe $116 or even $120. I don't know why I do that. I just do. It is what it is, so on and so forth. So anyways, our bills pretty much stay the same. Our sync funds do fluctuate, again, depending on what we're funding for what month and all that stuff there. So those numbers do change here and there. And as far as debt, that does change as well. Now, I don't actually, like when I do the budget, I don't include a minimum payment for the debt because I just roll all of that into the actual debt snowball amount that we're planning to pay, because we only have one debt left, and it just seems to work best for me in my mind. Instead of saying, okay, the student loan is $130, for the month, then plus I'm gonna put an extra this on there. No, whatever we have extra is going towards this dang on student loan to get rid of it, because it's been hanging out with us for way too long. In fact, the student loan is older than Maddie, and she's 11 years old. So anyways, it's time for it to go. So again, I don't put in the minimum payment. That amount is just lumped in with the debt snowball amount. So for the month, we have $2,210.38 in bills. And again, that's all these numbers here. Our weekly envelopes, the cash that we will be spending on a weekly basis will be $2,159. That, of course, is a monthly total. And again, I will come back and share our cash budget for November in a separate video. Sync funds, this here is $225 for the month. And then our debt snowball, I'm projecting at $1,300. Again, the same amount that I had for last month, as long as we are making right about the same amount in income. I do expect a tad bit of an increase in income for two reasons. First being that I'm starting to do a little bit of dabbling into reselling. I have already made a couple bucks on Mercari. I will be sharing that with you guys as well as I sold a few things on Facebook Marketplace, so I'll share that too. And then on top of that, I'm getting into tax season, so I will start having clients contacting me and all that stuff there. So I'll be getting money from that side from my tax preparation business and all that stuff there. So anyways, nonetheless, this is November's pre-planned budget. And of course, what I do is that when the actual utility or actual bills come in, I will come in and write the actual amount. And I like to use my little blue pen for that so that I can see what the amount actually is, which again, for the most part, I know except the water bill, the light bill, and the gas bill are really the only bills that fluctuate as to what they're going to actually be. The internet bill, again, is pretty much the same, maybe a few dollars off here and there, but everything else is pretty much, I know. So by all means, this did not happen overnight, as I always tell you guys when it comes to how I created my little bill log here and getting my bill structured to fall into certain categories based on our payday and how we receive income. This took some time with maneuvering bills, with calling bill companies, asking, can we move this due date here? Can we move it, this there, etc., etc. So this did not happen overnight and definitely took some time to get it set up and get it structured this way. When it comes to our expenses, and when I say that they're pretty much the same, I got to the point where I realized what I am willing to spend on certain things. For instance, we had cell phone bills where they were, upward of $300-something a month. And for what? I mean, like, really, and for what? With Metro PCS, no, it's not the top of the line, but the service is definitely the same. There may be times where we're in certain areas or the weather is bad, and we may get drop calls and stuff like that, but is it really like the end of the world? Absolutely not. So anyways, long story short, I'm not willing to pay over a certain amount for certain expenses. Same thing with internet service. I'm not willing to pay $300-something for internet when I can get it at 70 bucks and get, the basic speed that I need and still be able to do what I need to do. Now, does that mean that sometimes it's frustrating when I'm trying to do stuff on the internet and everybody's plugged into a device? Heck yeah, it's frustrating, but that gives me an excuse to either kick them out or go over to Denny's to grab me some lunch and some free Wi-Fi. But nonetheless, this is November budget. Let me stop yapping. I would love to know, guys, so definitely leave me a comment down below. Have you started working on your November budget? If not, do you plan on working on your November budget and all that stuff there? Until next time, guys, thanks so very much for watching. Definitely be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. And until then, bye-bye.